In this episode, our crew travels to the geothermal wonderland known worldwide simply as Yellowstone. We also give you an inside look at an XTR trailer from Vintage Trailer Works and introduce you to the magician behind the electrical brand Wired by Greg. It's all coming up next on Off-Road Travel TV.
Presented by Beta, the official motorcycle of Off-Road Travel TV.
After the crew finished in Montana, they headed to Wyoming and the world-famous Yellowstone Park. This was about a 400-mile drive, but the entire route was beautiful. And when they arrived at the park, there was 3 key things the group wanted to see. First was Old Faithful, the most famous of the nearly 500 geysers in Yellowstone. It erupts every hour like clockwork and shoots boiling water 130 to 140 feet into the air.
The first time I went to Yellowstone, I was on a family vacation, and I remember vividly my parents explaining all about what makes Old Faithful so reliable.
I was most looking forward to the prismatic pools, and then we saw Old Faithful. We even hiked up to the overlook, and the fact that there's just a place in the West that every hour spurts out this hot, steaming fountain of water is really, really surreal and interesting.
Yellowstone was one of my favorite parts to see on the entire trip because of all of its beauty. What's amazing is within about an hour drive of Old Faithful, there's a wide variety of unique things to see. More unique things, I think, concentrated in one area than I've ever seen in my entire life.
What excites me most about Yellowstone is largely the animal life. Being able to see all the animals in a protected area and seeing them roam freely have been awesome. Also seeing all the sites that are right off the road. It's one, they're very accessible, and two, they're just stunning.
The second key attraction our team wanted to see was the Grand Prismatic Spring. This iconic feature is the size of a football field and is the 3rd largest spring in the world. On a sunny day, the colors are incredibly vibrant, but unfortunately, the clouds prohibited us from seeing it in all of its magical glory.
Yellowstone makes access to some of these areas incredibly easy. You can park 50 feet away from the prismatic pools and walk up and you can see it. But if you really want to get that extra special something, you just travel a little bit further than everybody else. There's pathways, there's hiking trails, and you can get some incredible views that you didn't even know were there. You just follow the path and wow, let me tell you, we got an up top view looking down at the prismatic pools, and it's something that is out of this world.
The prismatic pools I was most looking forward to. Again, another one of those, it's kind of what Yellowstone is, a geothermal anomaly that has created something that is truly extremely beautiful. And just the color, the water, it's a place you have to see it to really understand and appreciate it.
Seeing it from above doesn't put it into perspective how it is below. Seeing the different colors and seeing it close up, you just feel like it's a different view of.
The third and final big attraction the crew wanted to check out is called the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone. This is located just a short walk from the highway, and the observation area is amazing.
A big surprise along this trip was getting to see the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone. We pulled up there, it's not far of a walk, and you get to see this massive waterfall going into an expansive canyon. It's beautiful.
We went to the Grand Canyon at Yellowstone during sunset, which was really cool because the waterfall in the background was like amazing, and then you have the river below and during sunset, so you got a perfect sunset view. It was really pretty. Definitely recommend going at sunset.
It's important to keep a flexible schedule on a trip like this because there's only one guarantee, and that's that things are not going to go to plan.
For the last 4,000 miles or so, Matt Gurgis has been battling mechanical issues with his Bronco Raptor, and that has held up everyone.
We've had some challenges along the way. However, just easily checking with our engine code reader, we're able to change out the spark plugs, check out our O2 sensors, use our basic tools, and get right back on the road.
If you are planning on camping in Yellowstone, you better be prepared to make reservations. The place is so popular that all the campgrounds can be a challenge to be able to get into, but if you're persistent enough, you can wind up finding spots.
Going to Yellowstone, it was my first time, was incredible. It is such a unique and diverse place. You have everything from Old Faithful, the prismatic pools, the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone, and a bunch of hot springs. It's such a geographical and geothermal phenomenon. It's an incredible place. There's a really good reason that Yellowstone was the first national park, because it is so incredible.
I think Yellowstone was a highlight of this whole trip. The geothermal activity, the animals, everything about it. That place is immaculate. It's beautiful.
Having this traveling experience has really shown me the importance of taking a break. Being a CEO of a pretty decent sized company, I rarely have that time. Going out here with these overland vehicles and being able to take the time to stop, smell the roses, so to speak, enjoy the beauty of these lands is just something I'll never ever forget.
There's not a lot of options for dispersed camping, even outside the park. So plan accordingly, look for campsites. It is nice to be in the park just so that you're able to come into your campground, grab a snack, or drive around. Keep in mind, a lot of the spots that you do want to see are most likely between 30 to an hour apart. So plan your trip accordingly.
We didn't do any off-roading in Wyoming, and that's okay. We wound up going to Wyoming because we were transferring from Montana to Idaho, and we didn't want to miss out on seeing Yellowstone and the Grand Tetons. After all, this trip is all about making memories and seeing incredible places.
Navigation is one of the most important aspects of off-road travel, and it has never been easier. Technology allows you to plan faster and better than ever before, and then track your route with pinpoint precision. Our team usually does research on a computer and does a variety of Google searches, and then reaches out to local Facebook groups and asks for tips. Once we have the route planned, we use 3 incredible tools for navigation. We use a Garmin GPS along with both Gaia GPS and Onyx phone apps. This combination provides backup, and each tool has their own advantages and disadvantages. We use several different Garmin devices, and it offers consistent satellite communication. This also has a feature called InReach that has an SOS feature that connects us to an emergency response coordination center called Garmin Response that is staffed around the clock for emergencies. Since most of us use iPhones, we also use Apple and Google Maps. This gives us the standard information and even has some off-road routes plotted. Onyx, though, is our preferred app because you can download GPX files to follow, and it will show you key points of interest and land ownership and gives you the ability to create routes. It does require a monthly paid subscription, and it does require cell signal. Onyx boasts that its databank has 650,000 miles of open trails on over 850 million acres of public land. There is a program for off-road, one for hunting, and one for hiking and skiing. Onyx memberships start at $30 a month and can go up to $100 a month depending on features. Meanwhile, Gaia GPS costs about $60 a year. It offers downloadable offline maps, customizable routes, tracking recording, 3D maps, camping spots, waypoint marking, and much more. It's not as robust as Onyx, but we find it very useful. Use these tools and your off-road travel will be a lot more fun. You'll have much more confidence with your navigation.
One of the biggest challenges with building a high-performance vehicle is installing all the electronics. When complete, the vehicles could be magical. By adding over 24 electrical components can be a daunting task, even for the most competent do-it-yourself mechanics. For our project Toyota 4Runner Tundra, we hooked up with the legendary Wired by Greg in Southern California. He is considered one of the absolute best when it comes to complicated issues, and he is extremely detailed. Combined, we are adding $80,000 worth of electronics, including 8 zones of KC highlights, light bars, rock lights, case lights, and floodlights. We're also installing IceCo refrigerators, WeBoost cell phone boosters, 200 amp hours of Dakota lithium batteries in each rig, both charged by a Victron DC to DC charger and monitored by Victron battery management systems. We also have Midland radios, Sunflare solar panels on top of our rooftop tents, Cascadia 4x4 solar on each hood for separate starter battery, and several Anderson connectors for accessory power.
So I tell people, come on in, we sit down. We're gonna go ahead and take a vehicle draw out. You're gonna walk me around your vehicle. You're gonna kind of tell me this is the type of camping we do, and this is the places we like to off-road. We'd like to make it a more thought out process versus just coming in and throwing money at your car. One of the most important things for the overlanding builds that we recommend to every customer is a power supply. Having a secondary power supply in your car, so the starting battery worries about starting the car, and your secondary or your house system takes care of your fridge and accessories.
Although we could have ran everything on one electrical system, we chose to take Greg's advice and run 2 separate electrical systems. But that led to another big question.
Do I need a dual battery, or will a Jackery or a power box or a Dakota digital box or a Gold Zero, can I make it work with that versus having something built in? Yes, absolutely you can. Some people prefer that, but it is nice to be able to just grab your vehicle and go and not have to worry about things being topped off. A pro and a con that I tell people right off the bat is the portable battery boxes are more focused on 110, and the way we build your car is focused on 12 volt.
The permanent solution was our choice, but for the record, we're also fans of taking along several small portable units to use in our rooftop tents and when we are far away from our vehicles. When complete, our goal is to have 2 incredible overland rigs to explore North America for the next several years. Once we began watching Greg and his crew work their magic, we were quickly reminded how tricky and temperamental that modern electronics have become. We also want people to be aware that there are huge risks to doing things wrong, especially if you want to do the work yourself. First, there's the risk of fire. Second, you could short out your expensive computer equipment. And third, you could void your warranty.
One of the largest risks centered around improper installation is normally a fire. We don't install fire extinguishers in every car, but it is one thing that probably everyone should have in there. A lot of people are not using the proper gauge when it comes to wire, so they're not taking into account voltage drop, fuses. Even though we've been doing this for 25 years, we still open up the manual every once in a while and we take a look at it to make sure that we're using the appropriate amp size. So there are a couple of things that people overlook right off the bat, but making sure that the wire size is the right gauge, thickness for the job, and how far away it is from your power source.
During our planning meeting, we told Greg we wanted things built in a practical, real-world manner. It's functionality, durability, and accessibility over everything else.
The most difficult aspect about installing electronics on aftermarket vehicles is the fit. Can we get it where you need it so you can get the best use out of the product? That's normally the #1 issue that we're finding with all of these. As much as it has to look good, it has to be functional. And functional has 2 different parts to it. One part is it actually working the way it should? And the other part is, can I work on it and service it? So we have to make sure that it's mounted in a place that we're not increasing the heat, we're allowing it to get good flow, and can we get our hands on the product? The biggest opportunity that we have with the 4Runner is trying to jam 20 pounds of stuff in a 1-pound bag. So we had to get really creative, but we didn't want to take away from the equipment inside. So finding little nooks and crannies to shove equipment was nice. We found a great place to shove the 200 amp hours of lithium battery. We made a nice little panel for service options. But this one, we wanted to make it look a little more stock than the Tundra. I know it doesn't look like it, but we were able to keep this looking really clean. A lot of accessory panels to keep the dash intact and to hide electronics.
We use Goose Gear cargo systems on each vehicle for organization. We used a rear setup in the 4Runner and a complete seat delete kit in the Tundra, which enabled us to use a sliding ice-cool refrigerator. In the end, it took nearly 50 hours of time to install all equipment on each vehicle.
So the most exciting part of the install and the pickup is when the customer comes to us. We get to take them in the vehicle, say it be a Switch Pro, show them how the configuration of the equipment goes, lighting, pointing the lights, dimming the lights, all the accessories on their equipment. showing them how to use the equipment and being able to service it. We take a ton of pride being able to walk the customer through instead of just tossing them the keys and then they have to figure it out themselves.
The end result is something we absolutely love. Our 3 favorite things on these Toyotas are the Casey Highlights, the Dakota Lithium Victron Sunflare power combinations, and the 2 ice-cool refrigerators. We have 0 regrets with these 2 builds and have spent several months living out of them since Greg and his team did all the work. The single best piece of advice he gave us was develop a list of goals first, then sit down with him and his team and strategically design each build and the budgets. One of the fastest growing trends in the world of off-road travel is the use of compact trailers. During our Alaska trip, we had half a dozen crew members take turns testing the Vintage Trailer Works XTR trailer. It was one of the 4 trailers we took from 4 different manufacturers, and it turned out to be a very wise choice.
During this trip, Kathy and I are staying in this Vintage Trailer Works XTR trailer. This is kind of what the old school teardrop trailers have evolved into, with a lot of off-road capabilities. We have essentially a queen-size bed inside, so we're not that hard pressed on space. It has a really nice kitchen at the back. The whole back end pops up. My refrigerator's back there, we have our sink, there's cabinets. The other neat feature that I didn't consider when we first got this trailer is when the back end pops up, it gives us shade. So that's really nice. Has a bunch of storage in the front, has a roof rack on top. We added the basket, which I highly recommend. It tows really nice, it's not horribly heavy, has water, has an external shower. It's a great little rig.
When most people buy a travel trailer, there's 2 primary considerations. One is the overall cost of the trailer and what they want to get out of that. The second is their towing vehicle. Do they own or are they planning on buying a towing vehicle big enough to tow the trailer that they want to buy? When it comes down to off-road, the size of the trailer is directly proportionate to the amount of trails that you can go on. It's also directly proportionate to the amount of amenities you have. The smaller the trailer, you're not going to be able to get showers and toilets and some of those other creature comforts. The bigger the trailer, you may be able to get all that stuff, but you're really going to be limited on the amount of trails that you can enjoy.
Once you go off-roading with someone that has larger trailers, it's so easy to see the advantages of something this size. You can squeeze into smaller areas that other vehicles can't get into, and this gives you a lot more options for camping and more trails to go 4x in.
One of the things I like most about pulling a trailer is that it helps you with gross overall vehicle weight. So if you're already flirting with problems and you're worried about being overweight to begin with, having a trailer can definitely save the day.
The trailer makes the camping experience considerably more relaxing. There's less things to set up. I mean, yes, a RTT is really easy to set up, but what really gets me is the things that are around it. I always end up having to set up my kitchen on the tailgate, move stuff around. It's a lot. And there's no fault of that style of camping. It's just easier when open a door, unlatch the back, pop the kitchen up, you're done. And if you roll in it like we did the other night, 12:31, just open the side doors, jump on in, it's time to go to bed. There's no hauling your clothes and bags and bedding up. It's real easy.
Bringing this trailer on the trip has had a lot of advantages. It's allowed me to bring things that I wouldn't have been able to take with us if we just took the 4Runner. You've got the storage basket on top, which I've loaded up with extra gear. You've obviously got stuff inside of it. We also added a box to the front of it. Without this trailer, I'd have to have left a lot behind. Because of the trailer, I can bring all my fly fishing gear, all our mountain bike gear, extra tools, extra parts, rafts, all sorts of things to make the trip more fun.
Sleeping inside of this little trailer is very comfortable, more comfortable than I thought it would be. We have it equipped with a queen topper, we have a queen sleeping bag, we have a fur blanket, we have the ventilation system that's built in there that actually can push air in or pull air out. The trade-off for taking something small like we have compared to a normal travel trailer or something bigger is that it's lighter, it's more compact, we can get in and out of smaller trails with no problem. You know, there's a trade-off with not being able to stand up and not having an onboard restroom, but it hasn't affected us at all. We love this trailer.
Some of our favorite features on this trailer are the kitchen in the back, It's spacious, we have a refrigerator, we have a nice sink, we have cabinets, have a nice surface to prep on. It even has a little attached on table that goes on the side. When the back hatch lifts up, there's a light, and it gives you really good shade. If it rains, it can kind of shield you from it. A small feature that I didn't realize was gonna be a big deal is this really nice and very quiet fan inside. The lid pops up automatically, the fan turns on, I can change the speeds, and it's really quiet. The bed's nice and comfy. We added a 3-inch topper to it to get a little bit extra cushion, but all in all, those are some of the best things about it. This Vintage Trailer Works XTR trailer has got an external shower on it. This has blown everybody away. It sounds kind of gimmicky, like there's a shower stuck on the side of the trailer. How comfortable can that be? Oh, it's the best one in the camp, in my opinion. We have a Roam awning that opens up around it, gives you a nice little enclosure, has tons of hooks, places to store your things when you're in the shower. The water is nearly instantly hot, gets hotter than you actually would probably want. As long as you have enough water and propane, you can take a shower as long as you feel like. I have no complaints, and I completely look forward to it on a regular basis. You do have to plan a little bit. You gotta make sure you bring everything in the shower and close to you when you shower, but once you've got that drilled down, it's awesome.
The outdoor shower is better than I would ever expect. You get instant hot water, and it doubles as a changing room when needed.
I've always liked those smaller trailers that are just basically a metal box to put your stuff on with an RTT on top. It's a lot of creature comfort packed into a small package that I really like to have now when we go camp.
I don't think there's a perfect off-road trailer for all situations. Depending on what I'm doing, if I'm going on a lot of super tight trails or have a lot of big up and down hills, I'd probably prefer something smaller with living quarters inside. If I was going on a longer trip with other people, had to haul a lot more equipment, and wanted more comfort, such as an indoor restroom and shower, then I'd probably want a bigger trailer.
If you choose a trailer like this, there's a few things I would recommend you could do to improve it. Number one, storage. We bought a basket that went on the roof rack. It's a game changer. You could haul a lot more. Number two, I bought it's basically a truck box that goes on the tongue, which added a lot of extra storage as well. The other thing, go through it and find a lot of places to put hooks and extra storage, because you're gonna need to use every inch of it.